Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we are going to cook breakfast over an open campfire. And that is at the request of several people who have said, in our redundancy system, we have the availability of a lot of free wood where we live. We just go out and collect it. But we would like to have more videos and more explanation about how you cook over an open campfire fueled by wood. So the first time I ever cooked over an open campfire was also breakfast. It was when I was a senior in high school, and I'm more bookish than I am cheerleader type. My younger sister, just younger than I am, was a cheerleader, but that just didn't interest me. But I did decide to join the pep squad when I was a senior, and I got into it. And of course, there's an induction ritual that everybody had to do. And one of the things that I was assigned to do was to go over to the home of one of the basketball players, the star on the basketball team, at 6 a.m. in my pajamas, no makeup, hair not combed, and fix him breakfast over a campfire. Well, I'm a redhead. Without makeup, I have no eyebrows. I have no eyelashes. I look like a pale ghost. And I was just humiliated. It was awful. And so I got over there, and of course he laughed, and his mother was out in the backyard looking over everything with a scowl on her face. And there I was, I had to make the fire, and then I had to cook bacon and eggs, and I burned everything, and I couldn't get the fire started, and smoke got in my eyes, and it was just awful. And it must not have been too awful for him, because he asked me out on a couple of dates after that, but I just didn't go in for the sports hero types, and so it didn't last. But in any case, I have improved greatly since that moment, and I have makeup on today, which will help a lot. In fact, you have never seen me without my makeup on, and I'm wearing my camp shirt, so it should be fine. So in terms of cooking over an open campfire, that is a great option for redundancy preparation, for making sure that we have a way to cook our food, especially if you have a free supply of wood available. And there are many ways to what we call a campfire, can be in many different formats. Now, if you haven't yet seen our backyard fire pit, we just put that together. We built that as fall was happening last year and the weather was cooling down, so we have not used it a lot. But we are no longer of the age where we can get down on the ground and cook over a fire on the ground. So our open campfire is now elevated, which is very comfortable. But whatever your situation is, a campfire can be on the ground. It should have a little windbreak if possible, even if all you do is just surround it with a ring of rocks. Or it can be some kind of something that you have built, a fire pit of some kind. Anything that will allow you to burn wood as a fuel. But if we're going to be treating it as a redundancy system, we need to do some preparation in terms of the equipment that we need to have. First of all, be sure that you load up on aluminum foil. I use heavy-duty aluminum foil when I'm cooking over a campfire. And so make sure that you have plenty of this in your emergency storage. Also, the other equipment would include an array of things that will allow you to have several options for using the heat of a campfire. Because we don't just poke everything on a stick and hold it over the open flame. We have to finesse things a little bit. And so several of the things that you might consider are a way that you can put some kind of a griddle over the campfire. Now, this is our griddle that we put out on our a fire pit. This is a lodge. I'll actually put this link in the below the video so that you can check it out. On one side, it is ridged so that you can get those the staked grill marks if you want. The other side is completely flat. And today we're going to use this side, and I'll show you about that in just a little bit. We're going to get to the food in just a minute, but I can tell you that if I were just doing this, and this was not a video, I was doing it in real life, I would probably do everything that we're doing together today, I would do on the flat side of this griddle. But because we are showing the possibilities for cooking over a campfire, I am intentionally using a variety of different ways so that you can see. So other equipment would include skillets. Cast iron are best. Also domes that can go over griddles. want to present a situation that is more like an oven than an open cook. A tripod where you can suspend a pot of soup or beans over the campfire. So some kind of rack where you can lay things out, and that is our surface that we have out there. So just make sure that the things that you intend to cook over the campfire, you don't have to just go in unprepared and rob from your kitchen things that won't do as well over a campfire. We need to be prepared with the right equipment. So today I'm going to show you what food we're going to cook. I have everything set out over here, so let's move over here. I have bacon, and we're going to twist this bacon into bacon twists. That's why we're going to use this side of this griddle. I have eggs. We're going to have ranch eggs. I'll be adding cheese and onions and salsa to some scrambled eggs, and we're going to cook those in a foil pouch. I'm going to show you how to fold a leak-proof foil pouch for doing liquid things like eggs. We're going to have some blueberry muffins in orange cups, and I just picked up one of these $1 Jiffy blueberry muffin mixes. These are so great to have for situations like this, but we keep these on our food storage shelf. We can get them at the Dollar Tree for just $1. And so we kind of load up on these just to have for little incidental cooking that we might do. I like to cook most things from scratch, but not today. We're going to be hollowing out oranges, and I'll give more explanation as we come back and prep the food after we go out and see the fire. But I pull the insides out of orange cups, and then we put the muffin batter inside orange cups and wrap it in foil. Then we are also going to have, these are hash browns. They are currently rehydrating. Those were freeze dried. So that's the extent of our meal. And I'm going to be cooking for two. Jim still isn't back on solid foods, and so this is just a breakfast for two, so it will be a little bit small. So our next step is to go out and check the fire. So we'll see you out there. Well, I'm standing back because it's very hot. And as you see that our fire is going, but it's way too hot and way too big to do precise cooking. And so we need to decide at this point in time, what kind of a fire do we need, and what do we have to do to get it to that point? Now, this would work fine for roasting hot dogs. Just stick them on a fork, stand back, and stick them right into the fire. Some people even like to do marshmallows and s'mores with fires this big. What we are wanting is very low flame and coals that we can spread out. So a wood fire like this is very versatile. You can use it in a number of ways. So we're now going to go in the house, checking on this every few minutes through the window, and then we're going to do our food prep, and when we come back, you will see that the fire is altogether different. Notice that our grill grate is way up high. It's out of the low place. It's adjustable, and so at this point, when you are just starting your fire, you don't need anything else except just to watch the fire and get it to the point that you need it. And then you can bring your equipment in. So we'll be back in a few minutes when we're going to go in the house, do the food, and then we'll be back out here when the fire has, and it's already lowering, so that's good. Won't take very long, so I'll see you back in the kitchen while we get the rest of the food ready. All right, we're back in the kitchen, ready to do the finalizing prep for the food. The camera is on a tripod. Jim still cannot stand very long at a time, so he pretty much does tripod these days. So I'm doing bacon twists. 3 of them are ready right here. And I'm doing 2 pieces of bacon a piece for Jack and for me. And so I'm just twisting this bacon. It cooks up beautifully. Normally it goes in the oven, but we are going to cook it on this pan right here. And I am going to use the dome over the top so that it can give it like it's kind of in the oven. So the bacon is now ready, so I'm just going to set this aside, and we're going to move to the muffins. So I have cleaned out 3 oranges. The orange halves are right here, and these will be used as garnish on the breakfast plate. So we're going to set them aside. And I have here 6 pieces of foil. Now, in my practice run on these muffins, what happens is I'm going to mix up the batter right here in just a minute. I have the milk and the egg already in this bowl, and all I have to do is just open this up and cut the package open, dump it in, and mix. Not too much. With muffins, you don't ever want to mix them too much. Okay, now these are going to be our muffin cups. In my practice test on these, most of the recipes for these blueberry muffins baked in an orange half say to just fill a half and then wrap the half in foil. Well, I did that for my practice run and it just made an awful mess. Even though I kept it upright so the batter didn't tip one way or another, when it rose and expanded, it got all intermingled with the foil. Now, these muffins don't pop out and eat like you would normally eat a muffin. These are spoon muffins, so you eat these with a spoon. So I'm going to do it just a little bit differently. I'm going to go ahead and fill each of these bottoms half full of the muffin mix. I'm going to fill the half completely full. So here it is, completely full. Then I am going to, oh, this little middle piece didn't get taken out of this orange. That little thing that comes up in the center of the orange. Then I'm going to put a cover on it like this to hold it in place, and then I'm going to wrap it tightly in foil to hold the top and the bottom together, so that giving it expansion room up in that upper cup. So I'm crushing it around the foil, and then with a second piece of foil, and this is just regular Reynolds Wrap foil. It is not the heavy duty because I'm doing 2 layers. With the second layer, I am going to make a shaped container that will tell me when it's like this, the batter is in the bottom half and it's not going to be leaking around. So this tells me that it's straight up and down. So I'm going to go ahead and do these other 2 muffins and then we'll come back. Last one. And the reason that we do this the way we do is because we are really insulating that batter. First of all, the orange peel acts as a great insulation, and then we have 2 layers of foil, and these will go down in the coals, right by the coals in the fire. So we're going to be cooking down in the coals, then we're going to be cooking on the top rack in our different pans. So next up is to make our eggs. So I have 4 eggs right here in this bowl. I'm going to put in some salt and pepper, and we're going to be making ranch eggs. And I am putting in a little bit of green onion and some cheese. And some salsa. Probably about 3 tablespoons. Then I'm going to just whisk this all together. People make ranch eggs differently. This is just how we do it. And so it is scrambled eggs with those ingredients, and it looks like this. Okay, now we need to fix a pouch for cooking the eggs. So I'm going to demonstrate now how I make a leak-proof foil packet for cooking liquid eggs to scramble them. Only they're going to be more like baked instead of scrambled, but they work just fine. So the first thing I do is I get a long piece of heavy-duty foil. Now, if I don't have any heavy-duty foil, I would be using double layer of regular foil. And it does not matter which side is up, which side is down, between the dull and the shiny side. Then I'm going, because this is going to be the inside of the pouch, I am going to spray this with spray so the eggs don't stick. Maybe a little more right there and a little more right there. Okay. Then I fold this in half. And even though this is a folded edge already, I am going to fold this up about 3/4 of an inch. Once, twice, 3 times. And I'm going to do the same to the 2 side edges. Here's once, twice, 3 times. And to the other side. Once. Really pressing down those folds. That's what helps the liquid to stay in place. Twice and 3 times. And then here is the tricky part, and that is getting it into the pouch. So I've got to open up the pouch, and remember that pouch is a little bit greasy. And then my eggs are already ready, so I can do it with one hand. And I'm just going to pour the eggs right into the pouch. And then I have to close up this edge as well. So I'm going to do the first fold up here in the same direction as the other folds. And pinch it across the top. Now I can lay it down. And I want to keep the eggs that way. So I'm going to do it. Here's twice. And 3 times. And I'm going to just fold this first fold in half so it's a little bit narrower. That tells me that the opening is really in this direction. Okay, so we have our packet of eggs. Here they are. And I'll be cooking these on top of the rack, and I'll be turning them several times to scramble them a little bit. Here are the hash browns, completely rehydrated, and I've got ghee and their frying pan ready to go. So we'll see you outside. All right, so the fire is just now down to some coals. I'm going to break up some of these logs a little bit. I want to spread these out somewhat to a long but slightly narrow cook area. And I'm just going to put another stick in so that we can have some more coals here in a bit, because we're probably going to need them. Now this big log right here, I hope you can see that, is where I'm going to line up the muffins. So we have low flames and embers or the charcoal pieces that are going to help us cook today. So I'm going to lower the grill grid. So we want it about right there. So here is our griddle, and because only half of it has any food on it, okay, Jim is handing me the heat gloves. He's out here even
cheering her on.
Yeah, cheering me on. Why don't you come back here, honey, so you can say hi.
Hi, how are you?
So I'm going to turn it this way because half of this griddle does not need the heat. So I'm going to put it about right there so we can get our bacon started. And here are our hash browns right here. Now, one of the things that happens to our grill grid when it gets hot, it becomes a bit uneven, and we never know where the dips are going to be. You can see this frying pan is dipping down a little bit, but it will be just fine. And I'm not going to put the eggs on quite yet. They don't require the same amount of cooking. So I'm putting the dome over the bacon, and we should start to hear the sizzle there in just a few minutes.
Let's turn it so you're covering all the bacon on the back side.
Oh, thank you. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to put some ghee in this frying pan. And you see it all ran down to the side. And a little bit of sizzle. Move those over a bit. And I'm going to put the eggs out here so they can at least get started, and I can turn them a couple of times before we need to bring them in closer to the heat. So things are going, and I will bring you back periodically as we work with the food. One of the issues with having a tripod to do this is that we're not used to it. And Jim just noticed that we thought the camera was on, but it was not on for the big reveal of the food. So I'm going to go back over what I said when the camera was not running. So everything is finished up. I still have one muffin that isn't quite ready, but the hash browns turned out beautiful. They're still sizzling in here. Jack is at work. He now has a job, so he'll be home mid-afternoon and need a snack, so this little breakfast will be fine for him, and I'll save that. I've had to move things off the heat for a while and back on the heat, and so you just use your best judgment when you're moving things around. The eggs turned out great. They're nice and scrambled right here, and I checked for doneness using this probe instant read thermometer. So with the eggs, I wanted them at least to be 150, and they were. And for the muffins, they need to be in the 190s. These two were. I have one that's still down there. Let me just check it. I can poke right through here and go through all the layers down to the bread. Better turn it on first. Down to the bread. Nope, it's 154. It's not done yet, so I'm turning it around. Jim raised the grill grid several times for me to rotate the muffins when they were in the fire. And so I have dished out my plate. I have hash browns and the eggs and a couple of pieces of bacon. And now I'm just getting ready to open this muffin. And there was no leakage into the outer layer. So let's look at the inner layer. No leakage there. A little leakage. So let's take off the top. And we have cooked muffin, top and bottom. So remember that these are spoon muffins and will be eaten with a spoon. And they taste wonderful. The skin is a little burned on this side, but it did not get through to the muffin. The muffin is still in great shape. So this is going to be a wonderful breakfast. I'm just going to quickly taste everything. Actually, I need a little salt and pepper. So hash browns, perfectly done, crunchy, great from our freeze-dried storage. Here are the eggs with their cheese and onion and salsa. Oh, perfectly done. They taste just like scrambled eggs should taste. And then, of course, the bacon. This is what Jim is really wishing he could eat. The twisted way of doing bacon is really quite nice. I like it a lot. And now, for a spoon of our muffin. A little hot. That little muffin mix makes quite a nice muffin. If you're in a pinch, they're inexpensive. This cooked beautifully, and the orange even gives it some of its taste is filtered through. So this is a fabulous breakfast cooked over an open fire using wood as the fuel. And we did it in 4 different ways. Foil wrapped orange, foil pouch for the eggs, a griddle for the bacon, and a skillet for the hash browns. So I hope this gives you some ideas about the variety of ways that you can cook over an open fire. Will you please let us know, and if there are enough of you who are wanting more cooking over an open fire, please let us know. Give us a resounding response if you want more cooking over the open fire like this, and we'll do some more lunches and dinners and different things. So thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you again very soon for more videos.